This is lesson 1.4, decimal to hundredths. It is found on pages 21 through 24 in your workbook. So do any of you know what a thesaurus likes to eat for breakfast? Yeah, I said that right, a thesaurus. What does it like to eat for breakfast? A synonym roll. Synonym, thesaurus, synonym roll. You know what? If you don't get it, it's going to be okay. We're still going to move along. So let's look at the learning target for this lesson. Write a fraction or mixed number involving hundredths as a decimal. So again, want you to be at 3. That's okay to be at 2 because we can still solve the problems together. But being at 3 would be great. Being at 4 would be awesome. Alrighty, so let's learn how to write a fraction or mixed number involving hundredths as a decimal. Alright, looking back, how many pennies are shown below? Well, let's look. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 there. So 10 in the column. And how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So 100 pennies. And I hope you know that already, that there are 100 pennies in $1. Alright, looking ahead, 11 pennies is what fraction of $1? Write your answer in words and as fraction form. Alright, so let's write them in word form. It look like this. 11 hundredths of $1. If we wrote it as a fraction, it would be 11 hundredths of $1. And if we wrote the fraction as a decimal, it would be 11 hundredths of $1. Notice we say them all the same. They just look different. So our key concept is understand hundredths. In a decimal, the second place to the right of the decimal point is the hundredths place. You can write hundredths as fractions or decimals. A fraction with a denominator of 10, 100, or 1000 is called a decimal fraction. A decimal fraction. That's one of the words that we need to know. Alright, so the second place to the right is the hundredths place. And a fraction with a denominator, remember the denominator is the bottom number, of 10, 100, or 1000 is called a decimal fraction. So let's look at our examples. Write 34 hundredths as a decimal. And if we did that, it would look like this on our place value chart. 34 hundredths is 34 hundredths, so the fraction 34 hundredths is the decimal 34 hundredths. Again, sounds the same, looks different. And then our other example is write 1 and 51 hundredths as a decimal. So writing this decimal fraction as a decimal. So we got 1 in the whole number and then 51 hundredths as the decimal. Notice that when we have the last digit there, the last digit tells us the name of the decimal and how we say it. Alright, so 1 and 51 hundredths, the decimal fraction is 1 and 51 hundredths. And our I can statement over there, I can extend a place value chart to include hundredths. So understanding hundredths. Alright, let's do some practice together. Write the fraction or mixed number as a decimal. And our I can statement is I can write fraction involving hundredths as decimals. Alright, so 27 hundredths. So it's 27 out of 100, right? And how we write that as a decimal? 27 hundredths. And this is our visual representation in that box there. There's 27 of these squares out of the 100. Alright, and then the whole number, we've got 1 and 40 hundredths. See, we've got a hole in here and then 40 filled in there. Alright, and number 3, 89 hundredths. I want you to notice that, oh, let's make that look like a 9, because I know that some of you do your 4s like that. Let's make that look more like a 9. Well, let's erase that. 89 hundredths. Anyway, what I was going to say is, got that 0 there. It doesn't have to be there. That 0 there is just to separate the ones place from the decimals, right? So that we know that that is a decimal number. Alright, so number 4 can be kind of tricky because some of you might think, well, we got 3 hundredths. It should look like this. Well, no, that would be 30 hundredths. That 3 is in the 10ths place. Here's what 3 hundredths would look like. See, we've got 3 in the hundredths place. We can put that 0 there just as the place value because there are 0 tenths and 3 hundredths. Alright, and then number 5, 5 and 92 hundredths. Yeah, that decimal, when we have that decimal there, we say it as the and. And then number 6 is 31 and 8 hundredths. Alright, let's do some more practice. Shade the model to represent the fraction or mixed number, then write the fraction or mixed number as a decimal. Alrighty, well, let's do some shading here. 73 hundredths, so there's 100 of them in here, and we want 73. So, 1, 2, oh my goodness, my shading. 3, 4, 5, 6, 70 hundredths. There's 70. And then 3. So 73 hundredths. Alright, and then I'm going to shade this other one too. We've got 1, so this whole thing needs to be shaded. Yeah, you don't have to do it perfect. You just have to make sure everything is shaded. Make sure everyone knows that. And then we got 10 and 8. So 18 hundredths, 1 and 18 hundredths. I want you to go ahead and write those two as decimals, and then we'll go over it. Alright, so 73 hundredths, 73 hundredths, and then 1 and 18 hundredths. Alright, moving along, we're going to do some ones that say words, and then we're going to have the fraction and mixed number. Not fraction and mixed number, fraction or mixed number and as a decimal. Alright, so I'm going to do number 9 with you, and then I want you to do number 10 on your own. Of course, our I can statement says I can write mixed numbers involving hundredths as decimals. Alright, so let's do this. 57 hundredths would be 57 hundredths and 57 hundredths. You go ahead, solve number 10, and then we'll go over it. Alrighty. So 13 and 25 hundredths. So 13 and 25 hundredths. 13 and 25 hundredths. Now, if you wrote the decimal first and then the fraction second, that's fine as well. Alright, I want to see if you can solve number 11. Go ahead and do that. See if you can do that, and then we'll go over it. Alright, so 50 hundredths. 50 hundredths. Think about that. 50 hundredths. 50 pennies. Half a dollar. So half. Half. Yeah, some of you were thinking, none of these have hundredths in them. Yeah, but 50 hundredths is the same as half. That would be 5 hundredths. And that's 5 out of, what, 12? That would be 5 twelfths. This one would be 5 twelfths. Alright, go ahead and do number 12. Solve number 12 and we'll go over it. Alright, 900ths. We got 900ths and we've got 900ths. Yeah, these are tenths. That's 900. Alright, let's move on to some true or false statements. Tell whether the statement is true or false. Alright, I'm going to solve 13 and 14 with you, and then I want you to do 15 and 16 on your own. Alright, so we've got 67 hundredths and 7 tenths. Are they equal? No. Just mark that out. Let's say false. 80 hundredths and 8 tenths. Well, let's look at the place values. We've got 8 in the tenths place and 8 in the tenths place. Are they equal? Yeah, they are. Alright, yeah, so always look at the place value. Alright, number 15 and 16 on your own, and then we'll go over it. Alrighty, so if I'm looking at place value, I've got 2 in the tenths and 2 in the tenths. 0 in the hundredths, well, I got nothing in the hundredths place there, and 0 is the same as nothing, so that's true. Alright, and then 4 hundredths and 4 tenths. Well, look at that. We've got 0 in the tenths place, 4 in the tenths place. No. So we can put X there as well. Yeah, I know that the digits are the same on number 16, but the place value is different. Gotta look at place value. Alright, so number 17, we're going to match each decimal with its location on the number line. So these lines here, we've got 0 to 1. So look, that would be 1 tenth, that would be 2 tenths, and so on, all the way to 9 tenths, and then to 1. Alright, so 99 hundredths. Well, that's almost 1, isn't it? That's almost 1. So I'm going to bring it all the way over here. Circle that one. Alright, so knowing that it goes from 0 to 1 and a tenth at each mark, I want you to try the next 3. Alright, so 78 hundredths. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it would be almost at the 8. The 64 hundredths would be right there. The 23 hundredths would be way down here. Alright, let's connect what we've learned to data. The model represents the participants at a basketball camp. What portion of the participants are guards, wings, posts? Write your answers as decimals. So guards would be blue, and there's 10, 20, and this is 8, so 28 hundredths, right? Because this shows that there's 100 participants, and 28 out of 100. If it was a fraction, it'd be 28 out of 100. Right? And then wings, it's 41, so 10, 20, 30, 39, 40, 41, so 41 out of 100, so 41 hundredths. And then posts would be 31, so 10, 20, 31, 31 hundredths. Alright, let's do some practice. The model represents the participants at a football camp. What portion of the participants are receivers, linemen, quarterbacks, running backs? Write your answers as decimals. I want you to go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that, and then we'll go over it. Alright, so receivers are blue. We've got 10, 13, so 13 hundredths. And then linemen are red. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's 24 hundredths. 24 hundredths. And then quarterbacks, we've got 10, 20, 33. So quarterbacks would be 3,300. Make sure to put that decimal there. And then running backs, 10, 20, 30 hundredths, 30 hundredths. Alrighty, number 19, our last one. We're going to dig deeper. There are 100 participants at a baseball camp. 22 participants are infielders. 18 participants are outfielders. The same number of participants are pitchers or catchers. So pitchers and catchers have the same number. Shade the model to represent the participants at the baseball camp. Write each portion of the participants as a decimal. Alright, I want you to go ahead and do that. If you don't have colored pencils at home, you can just shade it in with different shades of your pencil. But at school, I should have given you some if you don't have any of your own. Alright, so go ahead and do that, and then we'll go over it. Alright, I'm going to pause this and shade in. So here I go. Alrighty, so with the infielders, we've got 22, I'm sorry. So 22 hundredths. The outfielders would be 18 hundredths, and the same number are pitchers and catchers, or 30 each. 30 hundredths. Oh, I didn't put a 0 in front of there, and that's okay, 30 hundredths. Okay, let's look back at our learning target and I can statements. So our learning target was write a fraction or mixed number involving hundredths as a decimal. Hopefully you can do that on your own, or you can teach someone. I can write fractions involving hundredths as decimal. I can extend a place value chart to include hundredths. I can write mixed numbers involving hundredths as decimals. So hopefully you're all at 3 or 4, and if you're at 2 still, it's okay. Still love you. We just need a little more practice. Alright, y'all have a good one.